tutorial on how I made this gorgeous wig. This is some beautiful water wave hair that was sent to me by a company by the name of Virgo Hair. You've been following me since the beginning. You know that Virgo Hair is an OG company that I've literally been working with for years. Love their hair from the beginning, still love their hair. So I'm not going to ramble, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the tutorial and then I'll be back with my thoughts on this hair.
Hey guys, it's me and my little pony. I'm still trying to be natural. Grab out your wig stand, your wig head, get you some dome caps. These I get from Amazon in a multi-pack of 3. This is basically just a regular dome cap. What I like about these in this brand is that it fit my head super good, super snug, and it doesn't like fit too big basically, which is what I'm trying to show you here, even though I have a ponytail hanging in my head. This is the water wave hair and how it comes. This is 4 bundles. I also have a frontal, which I'll show you in a minute. Grab your hot glue gun and your glue sticks. I used about 4, maybe 5, so you don't need too many. Now go ahead and place your dome cap onto your wig head as centered as possible, kind of centered with that number. And I'm doing it in the shape of my head because there's 2 different sides. Now, I'll show you the frontal. So this is the frontal here. It's 20 inches long. And it's wrapped very nicely to be protected. Kind of showing you the wavy texture here. It's so bomb. Has a nice sheen, a nice wave. It's soft, it's lustrous. The frontal is amazing. It comes with baby hair. You're going to have to pluck and tweeze it a little bit, but it does come with baby hair already to kind of guide you. Now, the way I place my frontal on the mannequin head is key. I place it so that the center is very centered with the front of the dome cap, but the only thing that goes in front is the baby hair, if that makes sense. I flip it around and I go ahead and add a T-pin to secure it so that the front and the back all line with the dome cap evenly. Now each side I line down as well with the T-pins. So I use about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 to 6 T-pins. Now these are called ribbons on the side, and it's basically that piece of strip inside of the frontal, and I kind of line that ribbon as a guide. I use it as a guide to kind of show me where the end should be, and then I pin it down, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to get the hair out of the way and kind of twist it into a bun and secure that. Now you can see it forms like a M, if that makes any sense. If you have that T-pin in the center, you'll see that the way it lays with 2 flaps. You don't want it to be the frontal to be like straight across, because again, your ears are gonna end like right there. So you kind of want it to be right there, opposed to making the frontal go like way back, if that makes sense. And now I'm gonna begin to sew. Y'all, I am so sorry. You guys will see that my hands are extremely ashy in this video. I am so disrespectful for this. And also, I'm missing a couple nails. So this was a struggle day. But you're going to learn how to make a wig. So that's all that matters. You can look through it and accept me for who I am on this day. Now, I don't do any special sewing or stitching when it comes to this. I do use nylon thread, which is a little bit more expensive than regular cotton thread. I believe it's called cotton thread, which is the cheaper one. The only reason that I like the nylon one better is just because when I'm sewing, it tangles less. I find with the cotton thread, as I'm stitching and trying to go through it super fast, it'll catch and kind of tangle a little bit more often. But it's all about preference. If you're on a budget, get the regular one and it works just fine. It's just that this one is just easier for me to get through, especially if I sew my entire wig. Now we're going to get through and sew it all the way across. I do have a recent tutorial on how I'm making wigs with the closure. The closure is a little bit different because when I stitch 3 separate sections on the closure down, whereas with the frontal, I stitch it all together at once. There's no separate stitching. It's just one stitch going all the way across. So make sure that when you do your needle and thread, you make it long enough so that you won't have to like stop and like cut it and tie it and re-thread the needle, if that makes any sense. So now that we've finally made it to the other end, as you can see, my stitching is kind of messy. You don't have to be too neat or too perfect. Just get it on there, and this is what it should look like. It should be thrush all the way across, and you should still have that M in the front. Now it's time for the bundles. This one is 20 inches, and it's So gorgeous, super beautiful. I had to show you guys. Now, an easy way to get this off, I used to cut it off, but sometimes you risk cutting the hair and just making a mess. So I just grab it from the rim and just pull it off. That way I'm not accidentally cutting into my hair. But the true test is when you unravel, this hair unravels like butter. You guys don't know how many times I've received bundles and you unravel and it literally locks up and knots up like crazy. This hair unravels like butter, which means you know it's not going to tangle, it's not going to do anything crazy. And I was able to just get started without the headache or having to detangle it or anything crazy. So this is the first row. All I did was I took and started the very end with one T-pin, took it across and measured to the opposite end and secured it with the T-pin. Once I did that, I cut off the rest of the bundle so that way it would be literally the perfect amount of hair. With the hot glue gun, I basically added hot glue half of the way and then secured it with the bundle, and then went and added hot glue the rest of the way and then secured it with the remainder of the bundle. And if you can see, when you do it this way, this is a very beginner way to do it. And so only thing about this, when you do it this way, you have to go back and remove the original first T-pin. And underneath you have to add the glue so that all the way across there's glue underneath the entire track. I kind of use the back of my nail to secure it and push the track into the glue so that it meets the cap, and it basically the glue will dry and marry the cap in the bundle and it won't move. So that was the first way. That was very beginner friendly. Use your T-pins to guide and to measure. This is another way to do it. Basically, you just go ahead and don't use a T-pin in the front. You just go ahead and glue half of the way, secure it with the bundle, turn your mannequin head, add the glue the remainder of the way, and secure with the bundle. Very simple. The T-pins again are just a very beginner friendly way to go ahead and help you feel like you kind of have a guide. So we already had some glue in there from the last time I made a wig. It's getting to the point where the glue is going down enough to where you need to go ahead and add another stick. I believe I used 4 sticks, so I'll show you on here, but you can kind of see and keep track with me. And again, you just add your glue half of the way, secured with the bundle, measure the remainder of the way, cut, and then secure the rest. And you're going to see me do this quite a few times so that you kind of, repetition is the best way to learn things sometimes visually, just repeating the same thing over and over. So add your glue, secure it with the bundle, or put the bundle on top, however you want to say it. Measure the remainder of the way of how much you'll need, cut the excess off. Now you just add some more glue for the remainder of the way, and then you go ahead and lay the rest of that track on top. This glue is really hot, so I do use like the back of my nail. I do have acrylics on so it doesn't burn, but if you use your fingers and it gets on there, it's going to be really hot and it's going to burn. Go the remainder of the way. That's how much we need, so we're going to cut off the rest and glue the remainder of the way and lay your track. Again, this glue is extremely hot. Be very careful. You don't know how many times I've severely burned myself. Like when I had my daughter, I burned my thigh and it literally scabbed up and was like, it looked like a 3rd-degree burn. It was horrible. So be very careful. Also, every time I do a video like this, someone asks, why don't you use black glue? Black glue gets, I don't know what it is, but the consistency is a little bit different. So when it melts, this melts into a thick paste. Black glue, in my opinion, melts to a liquid, and that's what burned me. The black glue gets much more hot in the sense that it turns more, it liquefies more basically. So that is how I got burnt really bad with the black glue. This is still hot too, don't get me wrong, but the black glue, it just melts in a different way. So like you see how I'm applying the glue, watch, I'll show you. Cut your track. Now you see when you apply the glue, it's hot and it's liquefied, but it's sort of a paste where it doesn't move. If you go back to my old tutorials where I show you how to do this with the black glue, you'll see that it liquefies and it kind of drips because it's so wet. Here we are with the last piece of the first track. It's too short to go the entire way, so what I do is I apply the glue to the very center of the dome cap. and then I kind of center it because I know it's not going to go the entire way. And then after I center it and lay the track, I also lay each side, left side and right side, so that it fits perfectly in the center and it's not just like a random track that doesn't fit along the way and it's kind of like half on one side and empty on the other side, because that kind of messes with my OCD a little bit. Now this is what one track looks like. We actually did cover a lot of ground and we did keep the tracks pretty close together. So I'm going to take another 20-inch bundle, and you see it unravels like butter. It just literally falls apart in a good way where it's not tangling and locking up on you. Now you won't be able to see that that track below was too short because we're going to put so much hair, but I did go ahead and add almost another whole bundle off camera. My camera died on me, so I just went ahead and filmed, but I basically continued the same thing that I was doing. As you get to the top, you will find that the higher you get up, the more it starts to form a U. At some point you get to the point where the U is too closed in to where it's going to start buckling. So at this point you want to basically, when you get to this point and it looks like this, you want to start laying your tracks straight across opposed to making them go around in that U shape. And here I think I had maybe about 2 or 3 tracks left of that second bundle, and again we're laying them straight across. Right here, this section here is kind of going to be like the back of your head, like where the basically look on top of your hair right now and feel where your track end or where your frontal ends, and this is going to be that area, like that back top part of your head to show. So you kind of don't want it too thick. Here I kind of made it super thick, and again this is our third bundle that I'm working with here. I did it super close together, and I do find that when you do that there is a little bit of a bulk in the back. The last tutorial I did, I spaced it a little bit better, but I guess I was like so adamant about using all my bundles in this tutorial for you guys, and that doesn't work in your favor. Just being honest, you don't want your wig to be too thick and bulky, especially if you're a beginner. You're not going to know what to do with it. I'm able to finesse it and make it look good, but again, and the wig is amazing, don't get me wrong, but it's just, there is a such thing as putting too many tracks if you're not trying to have it too bulky. You definitely don't need it to be this close. The tracks are thick enough to where they will cover. So go up just a little bit more, if that makes sense. Now, if you do have tracks that are thinner, I've definitely received tracks that were much thinner than this. These happen to be super full, so that plays a factor as well. But I did go back after the fact and remove about 2 or 3 tracks. And again, you're just going across from one side to the other. Because these tracks are much shorter, I'm able to lay the glue all at once and not have to do half. But do be aware that the glue, as hot as it is and as, you know, easy as it applies, it gets dry super quick. And what you don't want to do is apply that glue and let it get dry, because the track won't stick, and then you'll have it to where once you make your wig, the tracks will come up much easier. Also, if you get some glue like on the cap, like say for instance if you lay your glue and it goes a little bit in a different direction that you didn't want it to, and it dries, whenever you lay wet glue on top of dry glue, it will reliquify that dry glue, if that makes any sense. So for here, if I sneezed and the glue went up too high, I would just continue to glue this track down and not worry about it, or not try to remove it or touch it. And then when I go ahead and I add some more glue to the next layer or the next row, me going on top of that dried up glue would re-liquefy that glue. I hope that makes sense. Also, you see the glue gets on the hair, it gets on the wefts. Whenever you see glue on the wefts, literally leave it alone. Don't try to pull it. Finish your wig, and then once the glue completely dries, it is so much more easy to remove it and just kind of pull it apart with your fingers. I'm also going to show you a way to camouflage it, but it does get stringy. So you see like little, you know, white or clear strings of glue. Those pull apart like nothing. So don't worry about that. What you mainly have to worry about is places like on the wefts, like when on the wefts or in between wefts is where you kind of get a little bit more glue. Now there, that piece was too short. I kind of cut the clip, but that piece was too short, and that was the last piece of that third track. So what I did was I opened up the fourth bundle. I hate when I have to open up a bundle for just like 2 or 3 tracks. So if I would have spaced this section out a little bit more, I would have been able to keep my entire fourth bundle unused. But because I made it so tight, I did have to go in and add like 3 tracks of that fourth bundle. But hopefully all this makes sense. Hopefully repetition, in this video has helped you kind of see and just watch and just see basically how I do it. Like watch it again with it on mute where I'm not rambling the entire time, and you kind of will get the drift. Just literally just watch the technique. Now that we're done, I'm just going to cut off the remainder of that track. Again, we only use like 3 short pieces of that last bundle, and this is what we have left. So I'm going to go ahead and put a ponytail holder on it. I just used a rubber band from the packaging, and I'm going to put that to the side. When you make your frontal and you style it, if you want to do half up, half down, you can use the rest of that and like wrap it around the ponytail up top and kind of make a really thick bun or a really thick ponytail. Also, once your wig is done, take a wide tooth comb or a brush and kind of just brush the hair out. You just cut about 20 tracks, so you want to make sure that you pull out the excess hair so that it doesn't shed over time. Now I'm going to take a black eyeshadow and a eyeshadow brush and finesse this hair. So I just want to cover that line of demarcation where the track starts and the frontal begins. This is extremely optional. This does transfer, so like if you touch it with your finger, it is going to go on your finger, so to speak. Normally I would use a black hairspray, but I've been out and forgetting to replace it. But this is just so that when the wind blows and your frontal moves a little bit, you don't see that white. You'd rather see black on black hair than white, if that makes any sense. You can also use like an eyeliner, like a kohl black eyeliner. Anything that you have that is black in your house, use it if that works. Now I'm going to go ahead and co-wash the hair off camera, and I'm also going to go ahead and add the elastic band. But first, let me show you what else we need to do. So remove the T-pins from around the frontal and cut off that dome cap, that excess dome cap that lays directly underneath the frontal. Never leave this attached. You have a frontal for a reason, and it will not look like scalp. It will not look realistic, and the wig will not lay straight if you keep this part of the cap on there. That cap also has elastic band. So I'm going to clean it up, cut off the ends, basically clean up the ends and cut off the excess material. And I'm just going to keep this. Now this is my elastic that I bought, and this is the elastic on the left that comes from the actual wig cap, and you can see you can use this. You don't have to buy elastic. You can use the excess from the cap, because this is pretty much the piece that you would throw away, but you can actually use it. I will say that the elastic that I use, that I buy, is a little bit more stretchy, which I kind of showed you guys. But this is what the wig looks like when you remove it from the dome cap. You also have the option to add a shower cap or a trash bag underneath and separate the dome cap from your mannequin head, because sometimes you will find that that dome cap will stick to your mannequin head because of the glue, especially if you use a mesh dome cap. I do prefer mesh dome caps, but they do stick a little bit more. And this is what you have. Super gorgeous. Super gorgeous. Super full. And this is the mesh that comes with it. So take about 5 or 10 minutes to go ahead and sweep and clean up your area.
Okay, so now you guys have seen the tutorial. Hopefully that was self-explanatory. I feel like every time I do these style of tutorials where I teach you guys something new about how to slay your wigs, make your wigs, style your wigs, all that great stuff, I feel like each time I do it, I add a little gem in there that I did not add the last time. I don't know what it is, but no matter how slow I go when it comes to making wigs, I feel like I always forget something. Like a week now, I'll watch this video and I need to do an updated one because there's something new I do or something I left out or whatever. So this is some gorgeous waterwave hair from the company Virgo Hair. If you're an OG and you've been following me and watching my channel for years, you know that this was one of the first companies I worked with back in the day, like 3 years ago. And I still rock this company because they have some absolutely amazing quality hair. It's always so beautiful. It's always so soft. When you unravel the wefts, no tangling, no shedding. It is literally the best hair you can find on the internet these days, and I absolutely love it. This is what I have left of my 4 bundles, and as you guys can see, the hair is beautiful. I did quickly co-wash the length of the hair after I made the wig, and as you can see, the hair is gorgeous and it still looks amazing like it did naturally. It didn't lose any of the curl. If anything, it added more curl, especially because this is a water wave hair. Absolutely love it. Feel free to ask any questions you have. Mention anything that I may have missed in this tutorial, but hopefully a few of you will learn how to make wigs today based on this video. So let me show you really quickly what the hair looks like from the back. And that's pretty much it. After I made the wig, I actually put it on and like quickly styled it within about 5 minutes before I headed out for dinner. All I did was co-wash the ends. I really didn't add any product after the fact. Made a center part, kind of tweezed it out just a little bit because I feel like I hate when the parting is perfectly straight and there's no, it looks unnatural. So I did widen it a little bit, didn't bleach the knot, so I added powder to the parting. Also kind of tweezed out the hairline. You guys can see this one was not pre-plucked and is slightly tweezed. I do want to go back in and bleach the knots because you guys know I absolutely love Virgo hair's hair. So I want this one to live its full potential. So off camera, I'm going to go ahead and bleach the knots. But you guys have seen me do that a million times, so you know what that's all about. Other than that, I just added my Cantu. Lately, I've been loving this to style my hair. This is just the Cantu leave-in conditioner that we all have used in our childhood. They have a new one, and this one is argan oil. The original one, I believe, is shea butter. Honestly, I like the shea butter, the scent of the shea butter one better. Other than that, the actual texture and feel and how it applies to hair feels almost the exact same. Not sure if I can feel any different, but next time I probably would buy the original because it does smell better. This one doesn't sting, it smells good too, but it just smells more oil, and the other one smells more shea, if that makes any sense. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this quick, hopefully it was quick and simple tutorial on how to make your wigs. Feel free to leave me a comment and let me know any new videos you guys want to see from me, because I have a ton. I have a huge shelf of hair and wigs, and I can style them and do them any way you guys want. If you guys want to learn a few new things from me or see how I style them, make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell button so you can see all that's coming up. Thank you guys for 80K here on YouTube. Now we're on the road to 100K. So again, subscribe and hit that bell button. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.